A little bit of a different video today, but I thought it would be a really good example because they both happened so closely. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Tuesday. I wanted to use two different trades that I took recently as good examples that two offer very similar setups, but they both each had very different outcomes. Uh, Before we even get into it, I wanted to quickly shed light on what happened today. The NASDAQ market did sell off, quickly found its support. Surprise, surprise. Markets tried to recover into the close. Is anyone surprised by that? Not really. Why did the market sell off? The CPI report came out today worse than what was expected. For those that did not see, again, we're at the highest rate of inflation that we've been at since 2023. The market can try to ignore this as markets are trading in an extremely irrational way, but eventually it will catch up to it just like it did in 2022. And eventually the Federal Reserve will have to step in and start raising interest rates. And ultimately at that point, none of that's going to support irrational valuations. But for now, it does, which is why we encourage beginners, especially in today's earlier video, that as markets were selling off, again, short the market if you want to, but never be afraid to play it safe, right? And take profits as these V-shaped recoveries have happened way too often recently. With that being said, I wanted to talk about not even this company reporting earnings today. It was just one of my trades, but a lot of you guys often like to ask, what my ideal setups are. And I talked about this a little bit on Instagram. I love talking about what I like to trade, not because I believe that you should do it or that you need to see eye to eye with me, but because I want you to understand my why, right? And that's exactly what I try to do with our LPP team as they get to watch me trade live every morning. My big encouragement for them is to focus on my thought process and not focus on just copying my trade blindly, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get the same results I am as, first off, I have a different style of position size management. You're not going to know exactly how much exposure I have to that stock right off the bat, especially if you're brand new. And then on top of that, you learn nothing by copying others. The whole goal is to be self-sufficient. So again, that's a great encouragement that if you are trying to learn how to do something, copying should never be the easy way out that you tried to take. So I want to talk about NXT today. It reported earnings. How did I come across this? Everyone within our LPP group chat, again, it's our private group, started talking about it. Like, some traders went long on it. It ran up 18%. And within a very short period of time, I think it was just a few minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, it ran up 17 to 18%, became incredibly overbought. I love trading overbought reversals. If you are part of LPP, I have a whole section where it talks about the 3 stages of reversal, buying the dip, right? But also 3 stages of reversal when shorting a stock. Overbought reversal setup. I plugged it into my little risk to reward ratio calculator. Again, we provide this for you guys for free if you ever want to try it out. And it allows you to be able to plan out your trade with your entry, your exit, your stop loss, all of that stuff, and your position size and your potential for profit and your potential for loss, right? With that being said, today, the trade went according to plan. The trade that I took within a few minutes, right, because I opened it and once it started selling off, I added more to my position size. My average price was right around 145 originally. And then as I added more, it obviously lowers my average purchase price when I open up short. But it was about 5% that it had to work with. My goal was 4%, right? Nothing crazy, 4%. When it ran up 17 to 18%, I would say that it's not unrealistic for there to be a pullback of 4 to 5%. I wasn't looking for a full-on correction. I knew that it reported earnings. It was better than what was expected. It was a catalyst-based event. I was just seeing if, hey, are people going to start taking profits? I love trading overbought reversals based off of catalyst-based events that at these overbought levels could offer more downside potential than they do of potential upside if they begin to sell off. Today, it went according to plan. I made $3,600 within a very short period of time. My position size was not aggressive by any means. I got in, got out, made my money, and I bounced. Like, this is like the ideal setup of like a day trade that, people glorify. Within a few minutes, I made a few $1,000s versus My other trade that I took today was RKLB, and the reason I love talking about this right now was this one took a little bit longer. I still made $3,000, but it wasn't as smooth. It didn't feel as efficient or as easy. And this was it was just as the market was selling off, this began selling off. I was just going with the flow of the market. But that's not the setup that I want to talk about. The setup that I want to talk about is the performance that it had on Friday. So RKLB shot up 20% shortly after markets opened. This thing was already running the day before due to an agreement that was signed, right? This thing ran up 20%. It was forming an overbought reversal and it began pulling on back. Again, it was up 20%. Same setup, catalyst-based event. It ran up a significant amount. It's not a normal day. It ran up a significant amount and then began to indicate signs of a reversal. This one had a very different outcome. And as you saw, it pulled back a little bit. And actually, it didn't pull back just a little bit. It was a decent amount percent-wise, if I remember correctly. It was like 3 to 4%. It pulled on back if you caught it perfectly. I never catch trades perfectly, so that wasn't me. Built an ascending support, went back to retest, broke out, made new highs, and rallied for the remainder of the day. The reason I want to share this is both were very similar setups, both overbought reversals based off of catalyst-based events that ran up a significant amount and offered. It wasn't that, it never pulled on back, showed signs of a pullback. But one actually corrected, right? One actually corrected slightly, not a significant amount, but it did correct for those that would see it as that, right? From the highs to the overall lows. It saw an 8% drop. To me, that's pretty significant. Maybe not for you. But what happened, right? Entry price has a lot to do with it. Position size management has a lot to do with it. But the biggest thing is that both were very similar setups. One went according to plan, one didn't. The thing that I wanted to highlight is that this will happen so often to you as a trader, where you wait for all of your criteria to be met. You wait for confirmation. You watch your position size. And even then, direction can end up going against you. And the only thing that differentiates you from a good and bad trader is your ability to manage risk, right? As this thing made new highs, in the easiest way, we should just be cutting losses, right? Because when it comes down to us formulating these trade plans, the biggest thing that we need to remind ourselves is that our job as traders are not to be perfect, but to make sure and ensure to put ourselves in positions that what we are able to make is always greater than what we are willing to lose, right? And when it comes down to these plans and these ratios, this is why we added the little success rate calculator, right? On our homepage, if you guys don't know what this is, it's the homepage to our LPP group. Again, it's the second link in the description down below. I just thought, again, especially for all those people that are part of LPP, I would really encourage you to take some time and mess around with it based off of your success rate. You can, bring it down, bring it up, depending on where you see that to be for you. But it allows you to understand based off of your win rate and based off of the opportunities, right? The risk to reward, what I like to call the golden ratio, if you're going to be profitable or not after a series of trades, right? 20 simulated trades, over 10 simulated trades, and then you get to talk about your position size. I think at least at this point, you can get a very real example of what can happen before you actually take these trades. And none of this means anything if managing risk is not done appropriately, which is why we shared this thing right here, where risk is not the enemy, unmanaged risk is. I made a very simple mistake on Rocket Lab. I let this thing run against me a little bit longer than I should have. Even though my position size wasn't as large as it could be, I managed my position size well. There was still a point where I could have closed out the trade, accepted that it was making new highs, there's a break of pattern, and I move on from that. It was a setup. It broke its structure. It made new highs. And at that point, it's not personal. I just have to accept it. I move on. but it's when you begin to break those so like simple rules that everything begins to fall apart, right? Like today, where I sized down on my position size and I told myself that if this thing ends up making new highs, I will have to accept that there's a break of structure and accept the loss. But again, all of this was easily planned, and before I took the trade, I was generally aware of what I was potentially going to lose if the trade went against me. And that's the whole point of this, for you to be able to see your exposure or your potential for loss before you actually take the trade so you're not surprised. And I think it's so important for beginner traders to not just be planning out their trades, because planning is one thing, but also following through with execution. We have this concept within LPP that we encourage our beginners to do it with one share. Instead of focusing so much and over fixating on always having to go all in when you're a beginner, it's a trial and error, right? So as you test new concepts and you're trying to build structure with your trades, it's best done when you remove as much as possible the emotions behind it. And I think a big part of that can be reducing your position size. If you're actually trying to get good as a trader, not only should you be able to stick to your plan, but most importantly, when the trade goes against you, how consistent are you in actually cutting losses and holding yourself accountable? I would be more impressed by your ability to cut losses according to your plan than I would be to you getting lucky on a few green trades that, went in your favor. It doesn't even matter if you have a super high success rate. You can have a 70% success rate. But if you're terrible when it comes down to risk to reward, meaning that if you're buying at super elevated levels to make 1 or 3%, but your downside potential is 5 to 10%, 20%, you're just one poor trade away from giving back all that you've made. And that's the unfortunate part when it comes down to trading. And people can share their own experience. It's a compounding effect, right? Where right now we're kind of in this bull market. People have probably made a decent amount of money going long, and it builds a lot of confidence. And in my opinion, it's confidence that doesn't really come with the experience. Markets are bullish. It's not like you did anything special. When you get too confident too early on and you don't know how to manage risk, now you've made more money now. You have more money now in the markets than you've ever had before. If you don't know how to manage risk or mitigate risk, what happens when markets turn against you and you're leveraged? Now you have the most money you've ever had, and you're only one bad trade away from now leveraging that capital for it all to go against you. We're making this video to encourage you, even if you don't use any of these tools. It's besides the point. The whole point of this is to encourage you to manage and mitigate risk, not to scare you, because it's not the point of this. Is markets go up, markets go down. We're all here for the same reason. It's to make money, but it's to actually keep it. So ask yourself one simple question. First, will you actually manage risk if the trade goes against you? And if the answer is no, you need to practice in cutting losses. The second thing is are you actually taking advantage of quality setups? Again, quality setups do not mean that they have to go according to plan every time. Exhibit A and Exhibit B. Both were ideal setups with very similar characteristics and criteria, but had two very different outcomes. The only thing that made one a bad trade versus the other was my lack of risk management, and that's on me. And you're never going to be perfect. You're always going to make mistakes. This will always happen, and it's going to be an ongoing battle, because you'll have moments where you go through a trading rut and you feel down on yourself, and other moments where you feel invincible. It is your job to hold yourself accountable, keep yourself grounded, and to stick to your core rules. At least that's what we hope. But yeah, sorry, I thought I heard something in the background. That's what I wanted to share with you guys, where two very similar setups from setups that I personally enjoy trading with two very different outcomes. The emphasis of risk management, the encouragement of criteria-based trading, and the reminder that you are only one bad trade away, especially at these elevated levels, from giving back everything that you've made. I hope that even for just a few of you out there, that this encourages you to be more intentional, be more calculated, not scared, but more calculated with the trades and opportunities you choose to take. That's our focus with LPP, always has been. I know we can get annoying with how much we focus on downside and risk management and fundamentals. But again, a lot of beginners watch our videos, and I think it's in our best interest to always look out for beginners. If you're experienced, then we're not necessarily I don't want to say speaking to you, but you kind of understand the market enough to kind of fend for yourself. It's for those that don't, that need to be reminded. So again, our LPP team, we trade live every single morning. If you liked anything that we talked about today, I would encourage you to check it out. It's the second link in the description down below. And yeah, feel free to take a few minutes. We have a lot going on the site, from our, calculating your win rate, your risk to reward ratio. If you ever want to preview a previous live trading session, it's all available for you, and it's the second link down below. Tomorrow is the PPI report. Just a friendly reminder, it's going to be 1 hour before the market opens. I'm not going to go live for it, but I will be talking about it within our LPP live trading session. So maybe I'll see a few of you guys there. Appreciate your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.